Marsau Scott, you are so full of it. So you mean to tell me that you know Chris Fletcher enough to go to Atlanta and have him vouch for you in your big bike, but you do not know him well enough to invite him to the Black Expo? Y'all full of it. Full of it. Full of it. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective, and today we're going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville season 7, episode 2, So Ladylike. Why it was called So Ladylike, it doesn't make sense at all, but whatever, we're just gonna go with it. Whoo, whoo. Y'all, I'm gonna get into the review real quick, but I have just a couple things to say. I just came back literally probably within the last 2 hours from Houston. So I lost an hour, went to Houston to see Beyonce and Victoria Monet. Baby, that trip was amazing. I'm tired as hell, but I had to come on to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville because it was trending. And I already know that these Huntsville ninjas are always up to no good. All right, let's get into this review. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Welcome. We build community and have a little KeKe on the side. I have a whole playlist full of stuff. Go check it out. Book reviews, movies, TV, gossip, all the things. Check it out. Get down in the comments and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. KeKe and Mel. So we pick up back from where we left off, back like we never left. KeKe is in mid denial. Allegedly, she says she cannot confirm or deny whether or not she was in the store. Allegedly, she says that she understands that a lot of people are saying that this may be a sign of relapse, but she can assure us that she has not relapsed. She brings up the fact that Tisha has not contacted her with all of the things going on. I am so glad that Mel was able to be the voice of reason to put it into perspective for KeKe, because KeKe, while you were kicking up dust about her marriage with Marsau, you were also not reaching out to Tisha while she was dealing with all of the sandstorm that you kicked up. So not only did you kick up the sandstorm, but you did not reach out to your cousin, which I guess you probably wouldn't if you're the one that's kicking up dust. So I really appreciated Mel for bringing things into perspective. Y'all, we're just gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna try to go scene by. I'm gonna try to hit the scenes as they go, but I really want to have a conversation. One, because I'm tired as hell. Two, it's just I have a lot to say. One thing about Mel this season, I think Mel is on a rebranding tour. I think she is trying to, and y'all mark my words, what I think she is trying to do is rebrand herself to not be the petty person that I have seen her to be. You know how Stormi first came on and was very much gutter snipe and carrying on, and we were not here for her. I think that Mel is doing the exact same thing with Stormi did, trying to rebrand and become America's sweetheart again. Although I know she is very well loved within a certain demographic, she really turns a lot of people off. And so I think she's on a mission to try to clean some things up. Oh my gosh, why is this? So let's get into Tisha and Marsau. Dumb and Dumber. That's what we gonna call them. This scene was absolutely ridiculous. I do think that it was a little bit manufactured because why does Chris Fletcher and Nell Fletcher at they big grown ass ages give a damn what Marsau and Tisha throwing with they Espo? Like why the hell, if y'all are so established, why the fuck would y'all care about what the hell Tisha and Marsau doing over there down to the Espo? I don't understand. Actually, oh, so I jumped. See, y'all. I'm tired. I'm jumping scenes. Anyway, okay. So they show us Tisha and Marsau. This scene was absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to cuss. Although I've already cussed. Tisha goes up to Marsau. Mars, apparently they're renovating the house that they moved out of so they can go live in that apartment. Okay. They're living in an apartment and now they are renovating the house, which I don't understand. So you're renovating a house, but you're also building one at the same time. Please help me understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then Tisha, at the end of the conversation, we're going to get into the details of the conversation, but at the end of the conversation, because I want to jump to that, she says, I really just came here to ask you for a new car. But she started the conversation asking for furniture, which sent Marsau into a tailspin. And he was like, no, we got a budget. You know, you get 5,000 a month. I get 3,500. I put it into the house. They were kind of going back and forth. I was getting a little lost in their conversation. What I do realize, though, is that when Tisha asked Marsau what he's doing with his money, he kicks up way too. He gives her too much pushback for me. Too much pushback. You ever notice when you ask your man about something he's doing and you know he doing wrong, but you ask him a question and then he get all big mad and all the over exaggerated angry for no reason. It's like all I asked you was a yes or no, but you already know he up to no good. That's what it felt like with Marsau. Marsau, are you keeping your money for a secret family? Marsau, are you keeping it for the strippers down in Atlanta? What are you doing with your money, sir? And I also want to point out, why the hell does Tisha get $5,000 and that's supposed to be her allowance for the? That's not an allowance, Marsau. If she taking care of kids with that. That's not money for her. She's taking money to pay for the children that y'all have. You get $3,500 or how much ever money, and you spend it on cars. Please tell me how that makes. Please get down in the comments and tell me, married people, because I don't understand how that works. It sounds like Tisha once again is getting the short end of the stick, but baby, she signed up for it when she decided to marry Marsau Scott. All right, she's asking for furniture. Actually, let me back up. Court case. She said, how was court? He said it wasn't court, it was a deposition. Sweetheart, depositions actually happen in the courtroom. Depositions happen in the courtroom. They in the courtroom, which means your raggedy ass went to court. You was in court, Marsau. That's what it was. And I like how you glossed over it and you didn't tell us nothing about it. What happened in court, Marsau? We want to know. The world wants to know. Tisha then says, okay, what happened in deposition? He says whatever he says, because it was kind of like, and I only watched it once. I wasn't finna watch it back again, y'all. I'm tired. Tisha says, you know, what's my furniture budget? Now again, if you building a house way across yonder, right? You building a house way across yonder, but you renovating this house right here. And then y'all just moved into this man. And what's even worse is that Marsau then turns around and says, why can't we just rent to own furniture? Rent to own? Rent to own?
The biggest rapper in the world. These niggas, yeah, Drake. Drake.
You might as well just why don't you just use the furniture from the apartment? Why don't you just use the furniture for the apartment? Because rent to own. No, sir. And not to shade anybody who's renting to own, because I had them rented it to owned it a time or two in my life, okay? But for somebody who has businesses, for somebody who has the nerve, the unmitigated gall to get on the internet, get in front of a camera, and insult other people's businesses, rent owning furniture, it's a no-go for me, dog. It's a no-go for me, dog. And quite embarrassing. Quite embarrassing. I already pointed out that Tisha doesn't have much of a budget. She gets $5,000 to take care of her kids. Marsau get $3,500 to do whatever the hell he want to do with his money. No questions asked. Baby, this marriage, you know what? I go to sleep peacefully every night. Peacefully every night knowing I'm not married to Marsau Scott. Peacefully. Stormi and Tiffany. Y'all, Stormi, so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. She's really working on me, y'all. She's wearing me down. Last season or the season before, I was like, I don't like this girl. She can go. Thunderstorm can go. But now I'm like, oh my God, I love her. Let her stay. She's amazing. I think that's what Mel is doing. She's trying to work us over. Well, me in particular, because I definitely did not like her. Planning breakfast at Tiffany. So they're going to have brunch food for dinner, which actually when I was younger, that was a concept that I came up with for myself for a wedding. I wanted to have breakfast at Tiffany's, and I wanted to serve dinner. I meant breakfast for dinner for my wedding. Y'all, I'm not getting married just yet, but that was a thought. This was when I was like in my 20s or whatever. Anyway, this was back in the day. Back in the day. Oh, right. When you sit around and you had nothing to do but playing weddings in your head. That's what I was doing. They're at Lux Brew, which I think is black owned. I was trying to look it up, but it didn't give us a whole lot of information about the owners. I wish they had put a little bit on an about page or something just so we know, because we love to celebrate and support black owned folks around here. Okay. The guest list they're talking about. Tiffany is so freaking messy. I cannot stand how Tiffany tried to point out the fact that Tisha and Stormi had words, but when Stormi was surprised that Tiffany was inviting KeKe to the birthday or the baby reveal, she was like, "What do you mean? Why wouldn't I invite KeKe?" Girl, the lady said that you don't know your daddy. At least me and Tisha was fighting over petty stuff. Well, $100 is still disrespect, but not that kind of disrespect. There are levels to this. I didn't like that, Tiffany. Tiffany, you be trying to act like you just your hands are so clean and you're above everything, but be ready to try to pit different people against each other and carry the bone. We see you, honey. We see your slip. We see it. I don't like her. Then she mentions I ain't gonna lie. When she said, "Yeah, I'm inviting Tiffany because I'm inviting KeKe because I'm burying the hatchet, but I just hope that she doesn't steal a lock or a centerpiece."
I think she wants to be a part of my marriage and my life. No, I swear.
I know that's messy. I know that's bad. I know I'm wrong, but shit, that was funny as hell to me, y'all. That shit was funny as hell. I also don't like the fact that Tiffany is trying to use this Crime Stopper incident that KeKe was allegedly involved in to try to say that she doesn't want to be fooled up with KeKe. Sweetheart, just say you don't like KeKe and you been ain't liked her from the beginning. You have good reason. The lady said that you don't know your daddy. Like that is good reason to not be wanting to be fooled with somebody. Don't use this Crime Stopper situation to try to use that as an excuse as to why you don't fool with that lady. Please don't do that, because now you playing in our face, and I'm not here for it. I think Stormy knows Tiffany is messy, and she just, handles her with a long handle spoon. Like my grandma used to say, handle somebody with a long handle spoon, child. You still got to deal with them, but you don't get them all. You don't have them all up in your business like that. Tiffany says that she's overwhelmed. Lou is not involved. He's always traveling. He's running around. Y'all, I hate to say it. The people say this all the time. My grandma used to say this all the time as well. The quickest way to lose a man is to have a baby by him. Here's the thing. Lou is a married man. He wants to be with Tiffany, but he protested having that baby. And I am not saying that it is right for him to be gone in the way that he is or the way that Tiffany describes it. If in fact Lou is missing or MIA, because Tiffany like to be mince words. She like to mince her words here and there. You got to double check and triple check with Tiffany. But he straight up said up and down that he was not wanting to have another baby. He did not want to do it. And here he is, he gave you the baby, but he's not present. Big surprise. I am not saying that's right, but I'm also saying it's not a surprise that he is not there for you. Stormy is feeling her, picking up on her energy, and is just having a moment with her, wanting to make sure that she's okay and not struggling with mental health and depression, things like that, because that's really important. You have these hormones racing through your body, and as you're pregnant, and then once you give birth, those hormones crash, and so your body is trying to figure out how to adjust to all of the differences and the changes, and it can lead to some, some disruption mentally and emotionally. So I'm glad Stormi was there to reach out to ask her if she was okay, and I just felt like that was so real of her. We here for Stormi. Tisha, Marsau, and the Fletchers. Now I'm gonna call them the Fletchers out of due respect because it's just kind of funny calling them by their first name. I don't, especially Miss Nell. Like Miss Nell, she just give church mama, right? Don't she just give? She don't give like she would hang out with these people regularly. This couple doesn't give. They hang out with Marceaus and the Martells and the Maurice's of the world. Don't get me wrong. I know Chris done did his dirt, but they seem above it. They seem grown. You know what I mean? Like real grown, right? Anyway, Fletchers want to know why they weren't invited to the Black Expo. I was like, are y'all really freaking serious? Y'all wondering why the hell y'all weren't invited to the Black Expo? You better be glad you wasn't invited to the Black Expo because Marceau was down there charging people, and y'all caught how he lied and said that nobody had to pay for anything. Marceau, I know, I cannot wait for that to come back and bite your ass in the butt, child. I cannot fucking wait for that. Can't wait. Marcel says, you how's that real estate cleaning and how's that going and everything. When the Fletchers confront the Scotts, Marceau and Tisha, and say, why didn't you invite us to the Black Expo? They said, we really didn't know what you did. This is Marceau, me lumping Tisha in with her raggedy ass husband because you are a reflection of your husband or the person that you're married to. Marceau says, we didn't know what you did. I just know Chris Fletcher made a whole lot of money and Nell's wife was just pretty. Disrespect. This lady owns a business and apparently has owned a business for almost 30 years. And I think Marceau knew that. I think Marceau was just bullshitting and disrespecting and playing in people's faces. And I'm so glad that they handled him the way that they did because he is always out of pocket. I already pointed out, wait, Marceau, so you mean to wait, so Marceau, you have the nerve to go call Chris Fletcher to vouch for you for your big bike in Atlanta when you was down there with them women and them 20 women's in Atlanta, allegedly. But you don't know what, you go down there for a business trip, but you don't know what Chris Fletcher does for a living. Marcel, you're full of shit, okay? And Tisha was just sitting there looking like boo-boo the fool, just picking at the food, eating. I'm looking at Tisha like, ma'am, this is the reason why you're not going anywhere because of who you're attached to, who you're associated with. A lot of these men pick and choose the women that they are wanting to partner with because they do not want to look bad in the streets. Tisha, your husband makes you look god awful, okay? And because you were not selective in the mate that you chose, your man has you looking like a boo-boo the fool. You are on a sinking ship. I throwed you a life raft, but I think you're too silly to even jump up on it. I don't even think you would know what it is if somebody sent you one. But sweetheart, you're on a sinking ship. Enough said. That's all I'm going to say about that. Tisha brings up, has anybody ever cheated in y'all relationship? Why the hell did she bring that bullshit up? Because now everybody's eyebrow is raised. Marceau wanted to shut it down quickly. Chris responded back saying, yeah, of course. First of all, I don't like your response because cheating is not normal. That's some old sick shit. Don't make it seem like, oh yeah, of course I cheated in my marriage. No, that should never be normalized. Stop that. Stop that right there. The explanation, I forgot to tell you, the explanation that Tisha and Marceau gave as to why they never invited the Fletchers to the Black Expo is because they were friends of the Holts. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't check out because you have no problem still trying to extend the hand of friendship to Martell, who is actively trying to destroy your marriage. Although some of that stuff he probably was saying was allegedly, I think it was true. Allegedly. Anyway, but again, he actively, and you have no problem extending the hand of friendship to him now, but you can't. Y'all full of shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Baby reveal, ghetto, the ghetto. It's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. You invite people. Your party planner has not put anything together. It's looking like the regular coffee shop at this point. You might as well just throw all the balloons away and just let everybody sit down and you just show them the baby. It's I said, not you getting there and ain't nothing done. And then the guests coming and you having Stormi put on pink gloves, and because Stormi wants to be a good trooper and to make sure that you're not stressed, she's trying to help you out and put stuff together, but she's also supposed to be a guest. Kimmy gets in, she also looking crazy. Tiffany looked disheveled and she looked like she needed to sit down and stop trying to do too much in one day. Mel gets there. She doesn't speak. Mel gets there, speaks to the women. Stormi doesn't speak to her. We'll see about that later. They talk about the a little bit of the expo and how it was a shit show. And Nell pulls Mel aside and tells Mel what happened in the conversation when they sat down, when the Fletchers sat down with Tisha and Marsau. Baby, that tea that Mel spilled, $5.2 million in fraud. That's why Marsau raggedy ass decided he wanted to skip over that little piece of information during the conversation with Tisha Howard's court. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it. And quiet as it's kept, $5.2 million lawsuit because of fraud. Baby, whatever the people said he did that shit. I believe every word. Oh, I believe every word. I believe every word. Mel starts to get upset because of what she's hearing, and she has every right to be. I think that Marsau and Tisha are both just the most not smart people on this show, and it is going to come back and bite them in the butt, and I will be here to watch every single moment of it. Y'all get down in the comments, okay? I am so sorry. I tried to make this video I tried to go as quickly as I could. If I missed anything, forgive me. I'm probably gonna tweet about some things. I might even go live or something like that because I love this. I love the show. I have not given up on it. I'm annoyed with it. I don't like some of the commenters and things like that, but I still love this show. I think this is the only show that gets my gears going, y'all. It's the only show that gets me going. So I love this show. Now I don't be going down the rabbit holes and be trying to do digging and figuring out what these people doing off camera. I don't care about them like that. But when they're on, and I'm enjoying it. So anyway, y'all get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my playlist. I have a full slew of things from the Bell Collective to the Bell Collective, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of New York, all kinds of stuff. Check out the playlist, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.